Mm-hmm. 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 Ah, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 11 and a half months, because the daily stream streak is 1 week away from the 1-year anniversary, we have been streaming every single day for 51 weeks. Almost there to the end. I am here to open my office door to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomaly that falls outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 1 hour, 90 minutes if we get particularly zesty. But in case you were present for yesterday's marathon reading of every single Series 0 SCP, I'm a bit tired today. And in fact, that is why today's stream is sponsored by Hydration Maxing. It's not sponsored by any sort of branded beverage that I might have in my hand. It's sponsored by water, the concept of drinking water. Hydration Maxing. As part of the Foundation Fitness Initiative, you must Hydration Max. Water, it turns out, is good for you. And I need my SCP Foundation researchers brain fogless, active, well-hydrated, brains moisturized for duty. So drink water, bitches. Furthermore, our stream is also sponsored by a little bit of new ambiance. You see, let me turn off my current ambiance so I can show you this. Friends of the channel, SOM Studios, as in the creators of SCP Gallionic, otherwise known to us as SCP the Anime, have dropped Veil of Secrets, the official piano score to the Gallionic trailer. Let's give that beautiful piece a listen. So, yes, the trailer music for the SCP Gallionic teaser was released. You'll notice an absence of angelic voices because what's the phrase I'm looking for? No angelic voices because that is just the piano tutorial. But we do enjoy a little music to listen to calmly and enjoy while possibly doing research that breaks the Geneva Conventions, like we do here at the SCP Foundation. Now, furthermore, let me do the standard housekeeping. Lone Claw, aka Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, Amber, Junior Researcher Sally, 369 Destroyer, Puppet Boy, Dean Cass, Legendary Doge, Captain Gilbert, Senior Researcher Alex, Java Name, Froy, .369 Destroyer, Silent Follower. Everybody who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Jake, Lucas, Jason, Murder Drones, JD, and Opal. Today, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, as I told you all, yesterday, we went over every single iteration of Series 0, which is a new SCP writing project and canon, where SCP authors attempt to create an entire alternate universe of SCP Foundation based solely on what is canon in SCP-173, meaning that they are not taking into account all of the characters and anomalies that have been written up to this day over the last 19 years of the fandom. Instead, they are starting from scratch, so to speak. And we went over the project. We found a lot of bangers. I don't think we had any duds, which was a nice thing. But we covered them all over a nearly 5-hour marathon. It was intense. I am very tired. And so now you and I are going to engage in a little agreement, a gentleman agreement. And that gentleman's agreement is called, just let me have this, man. Just let me have this, man. Listen, I was exhausted. I went to bed. I woke up. I'm still tired. And I get on the social medias and I encounter Family Guy brain rot memes. And I can't get them out of my head, so they are the stream subject today. For some reason, popular on social media today is a Family Guy clip that looks a little bit like this. Hold on, the ambience needs to turn out. The Family Guy clip is called Sneakers O'Toole. Let's have a look at some Family Guy brain rot together.
That's gonna be like trying to get Sneakers O'Toole to take his sneakers off.
I'm not taking my sneakers off. I am Sneakers O'Toole.
Hey, take those sneakers off.
No!
Take them off, I said.
No!
Ah, let him go. We'll never catch him. Not in these shoes.
I didn't take my sneakers off. I'm still Sneakers O'Toole.
And like all brain rot, and like all folks with ADHD or other sort of neurospicy situations, I can't stop singing it. I'm going along my daily life. I am running the research. I'm requisitioning the D class. I'm doing the accounting. I'm touring the facility and picking up the slack. And all I hear is my own voice saying, I'm not taking my sneakers off. I am Sneakers O'Toole. Damn you, Seth MacFarlane. Damn you to heck. So you know what? At least because of this, I did remember that the SCP Foundation does have an anomaly that has something to do with sneakers. And the sneakers anomaly we have in question is a fun little guy. So I want to show you guys a fun little guy. And then we'll move on to the general Q&A and the donations. So who's our fun little guy of the day? Our fun little guy of the day goes by the name SCP-5430. Code name, a snake wearing 48 sneakers. Now, this is a short article. I'm just going to introduce you to this character by reading this article to you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of prolonged SCP reading. Item number SCP-5430. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-5430 currently inhabits the grounds of Area 12 and has been given an electric fence collar and implanted with 3 subdermal trackers to ensure that it remains within the perimeter of the area. The anomaly's non-hostile demeanor means that it may otherwise be left alone outside of its bi-monthly medical checkup. Because its feet are intended for dry, sandy terrain, they are to be measured by a reptile veterinarian every 2 months so that protective footwear can be manufactured and fitted on it. Description: SCP-5430 is a male eastern garter snake, genus Thamnophis sertalis, approximately 6.7 meters long, don't say it, that has had 48 legs from an eastern blue-tongued lizard, genus Tiliqua skincoides, thomically grafted onto it. Its length and legs are its only anomalous attributes. Aside from its predilection to use these legs for locomotion and increased appetite, this anomaly behaves like a non-anomalous male eastern garter snake. SCP-5430 was discovered in New York City's Central Park on a redacted date, following reports of hysteria in the park and sightings of a massive centipede-like lizard in the area. Mobile Task Force Lambda 12, codename Pest Control, were dispatched to contain it. The anomaly was found hunting frogs on the western side of the park and restrained with minimal difficulty. During containment of SCP-5430, Lambda 12 were accosted by one Jared McBraddock, an unlicensed, untrained thaumaturge that attempted to control the anomaly and have it attack the task force. SCP-5430 ignored McBraddock and chose to walk laps around the pond instead. McBraddock was promptly subdued and brought into custody. A background check revealed that McBraddock had been arrested and released on bail 1 week previously for attempting to break into the Central Park Zoo's Tropic Zone. In addition, interrogation of McBraddock and a search of his residence revealed that he had been mutating commercial pet snakes with legs, fitting them with miniature bootleg sneakers, and selling them for at least 1 year prior to his capture. The apartment was thus confiscated by the Foundation, and McBraddock was given Class A amnestics and released. At this time, Mobile Task Force Alpha 4, codename Pony Express, is reviewing his records to locate all such mutated specimens. Addendum. During its most recent checkup, SCP-5430 was observed to respond positively to the attending physician's music player, undulating and moving its legs in a manner recognizable as dance. Loudspeakers have been set up near its current nesting site, a pond in the corner of Area 12, to play pop music at a low volume during its basking hours. So, SCP-5430, a snake wearing 48 sneakers, has a positive 226, sorry, I had not yet upvoted, positive 227 rating on the wiki, but I could not find any fan art of this happy, legged snake dancy boy. What a good snake! What a good anomaly! Deserves to be in the super cool petting zoo right next to the floating hand spider. Don't you want to go and pet A delightful 48 sneakered snake doing a little jig, accepting treats. It's wonderful. And thanks to Family Guy Brainrot of Sneakers O'Toole, you are now aware of a snake wearing 48 sneakers. You're welcome. So, that's pretty much all I've got on the docket today. I mean, if you really want me to, I could tell you about another reptilian anomaly this reminds me of. But I better answer the donations that came in during the opening here before we go on to another subject. Stephen Tambari. Wait, how does a snake wear sneakers if it ain't got no feet? You need to listen more closely to the documentation readings. Obviously, it had 48 legs from an eastern blue-tongued lizard thomically grafted onto it by a 2-bit bootleg sneaker wizard. Why did Wizard McBraddock want to make snakes with lots of legs and bootleg sneakers to sell? Who was buying snakes with magically grafted on legs and bootleg sneakers? I don't know. I would like for them to update the documentation to tell me who wanted to purchase snakes with 48 sneakers. But anyway, 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a packet of cotton candy on your way past the commissary. Was watching Volgan's SCP-049 vid. The moment your name was said, the Discord notification appeared. Oh, what a crazy random happenstance. Yes, for those of you who are unaware, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, as in from the SCP-049 document. I did the voice work on that article, and the character was named after me for my contribution. So yes, me and SCP-049 go way back. Intern Nolly Shop, thank you for sending a clock it to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they will clock it because you told them to. Intern Calvin, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some hard-boiled eggs on your way past the commissary. Greetings, Dr. Sherman. Well, greetings to you too, Intern Calvin. Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some curried rice on your way past the commissary. Sorry for not making it last stream. The final stages of the duplicate universe stress test required my full attention. The Earth became bunny. After yesterday, I have had enough of bunnies to last a lifetime, please. Except for Cerberus, the Site 42 bunny. Cerberus is cool. Shane Gilbert, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel the love. Dr. Sherman, SCP-5148 is related to Peter Griffin. Open the image in the final log. Dear 5320. Okay, 5148. Why don't we infect the stream with even more Peter Griffin brain rot? Well, it would first require me to type the number correctly. SCP-5148, codename Clipoff. Okay, so clearly we are dealing with a Gamers Against Weed article because we're seeing messages from Blunt Fiend, Jock Jams Volume 6, Lesbian Gengar, and various other members of the Gamers Against Weed troops. Procedure 5148 Alpha is to be observed when referring to the object class between Chokma and Bina. I'm worried about that. For all anomalies registered in the Site-19 SkipNet database, object class may be spoken aloud but not typed into SkipNet database to prevent the effects of SCP-5148 from manifesting. Due to the nature of 5148, the anomaly itself and any SCP objects of the same object class are not to be tagged as the topmost of the Sephiroth, and are instead designated as Malkut. So I think they may have done something mimetic to Keter. That seems like a problem. So they said a file. I'm worried about the file. They're yapping. They're always yapping. This must be what you're talking about. Uploaded file frickin' sweet.png. Why? Nah. Damn it, PETA. Well, that's why we don't mess with Gamers Against Weed articles. They're always watching and messing with the feed. Anomalous internet trolls. How terrible could it be? Dr. Sherman, how do I get to the Discord? Well, first of all, SCP-166, I'm not Mr. Sherman, I'm Doctor. I work for the Foundation, I'm a researcher, I have 7 doctorates. It's not Mr., it's Doctor, thank you. Furthermore, the Discord server for Site-42 is secret. It is an Easter egg hunt. You must find it. You must prove your worth to join. And so, we do give a hint at the end of every stream. So keep an eye out at the end of stream, which is currently in approximately 40 minutes, unless we get some high-key energy, at which point we might go a little longer. If the IKEA is infinite and has vending machines, does that mean infinite food? Since if you empty one of food, you could walk and find another. Well, intern rebellion. That isn't even quite necessary, you see. The vending machines and the IKEAs within the IKEAs within the IKEA, and the cafeterias within the infinite IKEA are also restocked of food by the SCP-3008-2 employees. So, you would not have to go hunting for another vending machine or cafeteria. You would just have to hold out nearby until the employees restocked it. Now, that means the employees will be there. You will know they are there, so that's a dangerous place to be. And you might have to quarrel with other survivors who also want those tasty, tasty meatballs. So, it's up to you whether it's worth the risk to wait it out. Intern Teddy Boys, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some tasty, tasty meatballs on your way past the commissary. Morning, Dr. Sherman. How is today's meeting? Well, honestly, I kind of dragged ass through the entirety of this morning after yesterday's marathon, so I might have rubber-stamped some documents and run through some meetings with my sleeping eyes open. So, I might need to go over this morning's meetings again, just in case. But if you're talking about the stream subject today, then so far it's gone quite well. We were introduced to an adorable snake with 48 sneakers. Everyone was happy about that. Why are we fighting for food when there is infinite food? Because, Puppet Boy, the infinite food has to be restocked by the employees. So you're looking at one spread that has to be fought over. And then maybe you'll survive until the next time the food is replenished. So it's not quite as easy as infinite food. Intern Next Arrow, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Would you consider containing the Doctor from Doctor Who? Intern Chameleon Scythe. I would love to contain that timey-wimey son of a bitch. However, it seems that some pataphysical writer's room above our layer of reality has deigned to make the Doctor paradox-proof in a manner where, did you know, famously, all of the races of monsters that the Doctor has fought teamed up to make the Pandorica, a timey-wimey bullshit-proof box to keep the Doctor in. And yet somehow, paradoxically, of course, we all know the Doctor got out of the Pandorica. But did you know that in the radio plays, there was a second Pandorica? That's right, the Doctor has been trapped like a rat in 2 different paradox-proof containment cells. Just paradoxed its way out. It's ridiculous is what it is. But it does not stop me from trying. We will contain that timey-wimey bastard. Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for donating again. Say, what do you have doctorates in, Dr. Sherman? Listen, I understand that you're a multi-universal entity and you work at a higher level than most SCP Foundation researchers because you're doing all sorts of timey-wimey bullshit yourself. But you don't just ask an SCP researcher what the doctorates are in. Remember, we all come through the SCP Foundation's university system. Maybe I was working on my doctorate in the civilian corps, but once I got abducted by the Foundation, not abducted, just an offer I couldn't refuse. I mean, have you seen the things we work with? Pretty amazing. But all of our doctorates have long-winded containment specialist-y names. It's not worth going down the list. Researcher TB Enriego, thank you for your 1 month as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Does any of the SCPs know how to do WWE like SCP-999? So I see that you saw today's leak. So, yes, there was some timey-wimey shenanigans performed by the Department of Temporal Anomalies that pulled a videotape from the year 2045. And I will say, quite impressively, I am looking pretty svelte for another almost 20 years going by. Man, does not crack your welcome. Face card unbeatable. But in that video, I did, in fact, coach SCP-999 to defeat SCP-682 in, not Mortal Kombat, that would be a little gorier. No, but in wrestling combat. And it was frickin' sweet, I might add. But yes, there's definitely not in our time period any sort of training for such eventualities being performed at a non-existent SCP Fight Club in the 7th floor gym of the East Wing. Definitely nothing that is incriminating in that video that I wish the Department of Temporal Anomalies did not share. Nope, nothing at all. Nothing at all. I'm sorry, where can one show this footage? View this footage? T-Rose, it's here on the channel. It's the latest short. I don't know why Temporal Anomalies slipped that in there, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Okay, what about Mr. Impossible? Can you capture him? Well, Intern Rebellion, I don't know what a Mr. Impossible is. Is that an anomalous person? Because remember, when people ask if we can contain Batman, I mean, probably, but also we wouldn't need to because Batman's not anomalous. So I need to see if this Mr. Impossible is actually worth containing at all. Seems like it's from the game Death Stranding. No, it's from a children's book. Nothing is impossible to Mr. Impossible. Well, if that is case, in point, then it seems like the problem with misters like this, like dealing with the little misters, is they have their ability and all sorts of Toon Force shenanigans to succeed at them. So it's highly possible that a Mr. Impossible would be impossible to contain due to anything being possible to Mr. Impossible, which includes escaping containment. Intern Calvin, thank you for donating again to say, greetings, Dr. Sherman. I'm what you researchers call SCP-001, but I am Calvin Desmet. Well, we have a lot of SCP-001s, but you seem to be telling me that you are a specific SCP-001? I see. Alright, so this is from Cactus's Proposal 2. Codename Atonement. Gotcha. And of course, the problem with any cactus piece is they are eons long, meaning that we need to get a summary of the situation quicker. So let's go back again. Calvin's back. Tell your friends. The guy that becomes a gravity singularity in Cactus Proposal 2. The one that killed universes to stop the anomalies and kill Blackbird. Yes. Kills an O5 council member. Not great. Little Dr. Manhattan-like, so similar to 3812, another Cactus creation. Okay, well, hello, please don't blow up the world, please. I would appreciate it if you do not mess with our universe in any manner. That would be very kind of you. Intern Desmet. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say. Went out last night and used so much hairspray. Also majoring in metaphysical management was brave. I personally found anomalous architecture fun. Well, I guess the CFCs were not a big threat in the name of your style, but sure, I guess. The 80s styles were still quite popular in a throwback manner. But I'm glad you had fun, I guess. Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for donating again to say, terminating O5 members. Who would ever do that? Yes, Hoomst. Hoomst would do that indeed. Intern Anthony, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Can an SCP make an SCP that neutralizes itself? Well, intern tapes, you would have to be a little more specific, I guess. I mean, we have over 10,000 different SCPs on the database, And that's just in the English language branch. If you go to the international branches, there are all kinds. I know of multiple anomalies that have self-neutralized. The one that comes to mind first is codename A Potato Thirst. SCP-4220 was a 150 meter by 65 meter by 55 meter red Idaho potato. A current mass of 400 million kilograms. But that extremely large anomalous potato was also able to text message somehow. And it felt ashamed of how it looked and neutralized itself. Content warning for body dysmorphia and suicidality, I guess? Man, we work with some weird anomalies. Intern Gorpatra, welcome. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some French fries. Apparently we have an abundance of potatoes right now on your way past the commissary. Would I qualify as an SCP or a staff member? Well, I don't know who you are or what you are. But the likelihood, since this SCP Foundation broadcast does not get broadcast to civilians, except for in Broken Masquerade universes where we require PR, it is highly likely you are an SCP Foundation staff member of some sort if you are seeing this broadcast. Knowing your love of Control, have you ever gotten to its other half, Alan Wake? And if you have, I'd love to hear how you think the Dark Presence could possibly be contained. Intern Archon, I tried to get into Alan Wake, but the gameplay just didn't sing to me. I was very frustrated within the first 2 or 3 levels. There was a lumber yard and there was running around and shining light and shooting things, and I was just... The story seemed very cool. If I could watch Alan Wake like a show or a movie, I would probably appreciate it a lot more. Dean Cass, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a slice of pie on your way past the commissary. Can't forget the pie. Are there any SCPs that haunt dreams? There are many SCPs that haunt dreams. I will bring to you 3 dreams, right? 3 dream entities right now. First and foremost, there's literally a guy called Mr. Dream. That is what we call the entity, correct? No, we call the entity codename Dream Man. SCP-990 is an anomalous man in a business suit and a hat who appears in your dreams and gives you portents of disasters to come. We have not been able to contain SCP-990. Furthermore, if you happen to go to my author page, because I am in fact an SCP author, then you will see a list of SCPs that I wrote, but you'll also see a list of SCPs that I just provided voice lines to. And an SCP written by, I believe it was, yes, Dr. Sumerian and DJ Cactus collaborated on SCP-3208. And this entity visits you in dreams, or at least it makes you do dream things. Yes, it essentially enters your dreams. And so 3208, codename YKHN, also goes into your dreams. Intern Trey, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, how could I end a conversation about anomalies that infect your dreams without talking about SCP-3883? Codename Dildos Have Dreams 2. SCP-3883 is a not-so-good dragon, is the term I'll use, that if you happen to sleep next to it, you will be attacked in your dreams by a Cthulhu-like entity. One of our researchers talented in... What's it called when you are dreaming, but you can control it? Lucid dreaming. One of our researchers talented in lucid dreaming was able to face down the entity and convince it to knock it off, at which point the researcher and the entity just spoke about how the entity is very ashamed of being a dildo in our real world, and so when it can infect people's dreams, it tries to be big and scary as revenge. SCP-3883, codename Dildos Have Dreams 2. Remember, people, the SCP Foundation is an adult community with very adult themes sometimes. Graphic violence, sexuality, they may be present. You should be worried about that. And we do not titter like school children when, oh, he said dildo. It's an anomalous object. It is serious business to contain. Thank you very much. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say. Common misconception, the anomalous architecture course is mostly about the development and integration of technology for containment reasons. Well, yes, containment specialists all have to go through their anomalous architecture courses as part of the containment specialization. Junior Researcher Sally, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some Pocky on your way past the commissary. I don't agree with Batman is not anomalous. I saw some of you arguing about that in the chat and saying, oh no, Batman is anomalous because Batman learned Tibetan monk techniques. Learning an anomalous technique does not make you anomalous. The thaumaturgy department is a show of that. Anybody can learn thaumaturgy. That doesn't make the practicer anomalous. It just makes them capable of harnessing the anomalous energies that are throughout the universe due to arcane knowledge. So no, Batman learning a Tibetan monk technique does not make Batman anomalous. Still just a rich boy with daddy issues, and mommy issues, and probably a lot of other issues. Superman might be an anomaly. Intern Harris. Literally an alien from space. Obviously, Superman is an anomaly. Vegan Rage Bait, you are here. So I did answer your donation that arrived after stream in the comments. I think you saw that. But to clarify, yes. SCP-610, if it were to take over your body, it would act more like the cordyceps virus, or fungi, than any other particular anomalous rage virus, rabies-based virus, zombie virus. And it's because, as a meat-based version of that fungal infection, it does grow on you, whereas the zombie viruses tend to detriment your growth. The cordyceps virus and the 610 flesh that hates add to your mass and cause abnormal growth. Very different. Gorpatra, thank you for donating again to say, there's a similar entity to Dream Man called Hat Man, who appears in sleep paralysis sometimes. Isn't that why we put the warnings on the Benadryl? That way people would stop summoning the Hat Man? That's what I thought it was. Dr. Sherman, why can Dr. Agatha Wrights flirt with SCPs, but I can't? When you, intern Enrico, do as much good for the Foundation as Dr. Wrights, you get to bend the policies. But not until then. Dr. Frogman. Dr. Agatha Wrights is an old school member of the Author Avatar Brigade of early SCP doctors. Dr. Agatha Wrights was known for thirsting over the anomalies a lot. Among other things. But there was that. Sheeny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself an Italian sub on your way past the commissary. Any idea what the deal is with the Hat Man that shows up when you take Benadryl? I can't take Benadryl anymore because I owe him money and I don't want to see him. I told you that's why we put the warnings on the Benadryl so people stop summoning the Hat Man. Which makes me wonder, do we have any mention of this entity on the database at all? Hat Man. SCP. E is for Eternity, but that's Hat Man, or that's Hitman and Batman. I want Hat Man. Be specific, please. We have a Hat Bot. 7146 claims to be the Hat Man. Entity that is only observable during a set series of parameters, thus containment of 7146 cannot be attained at this time. Misinformation campaign support through amnesticization is in place to limit spread. As in normal, rapid eye movement sleep, the brain is consolidating memories, including those that are emotionally intense, like fear. Waking during this process may result in sleep paralysis and hallucinations. Memory consolidation focuses on human interaction and identification, thus the hallucination often manifests as a frightening human figure with a specific identifier, like a hat. So yes, SCP-7146 is literally the Hat Man as an SCP. Now, it is at a POS 9 ranking. So be aware that this is a 2-year-old article with a POS 9 ranking, which means it is not exactly popular. But it was popular enough to survive the community vote just barely. So if you want to look into SCP-7146 for more Hat Man related data, that would be where I would go to. Site 42 staff, we are currently 10 minutes from my stated end of stream. I am still feeling a bit tired, but maybe we'll go a little longer. It depends on how the next questions kind of wake me up or not. Meanwhile, let me tell you, we did get more likes than viewers today. There's been a couple of days in a row now where that's happened, but I've been so busy on stream the last little bit. Things have been really crazy lately. But let me just slow down for just a second to say, hey, good job getting the likes above the viewers, not just today, but the last few days as well. Because of your liking the stream, more people are showing up. The algorithm is favoring us here at Site 42, and it's bringing us more people who are interested in SCP. Even some people who are not interested in SCP, but just think I'm funny for some reason. I'm not here to make jokes. I'm here to have serious talks and briefings about anomalies, but some people find it entertaining, I guess, happy for you. But suffice it to say, that is how we get more people into the SCP fandom who can help us to make more SCP films and games and more SCP authors and artists making SCP content that we can turn into films and games and merch and podcasts and animations and etc. So thank you for hitting the like button and supporting Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Da 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 da. Intern Cat, thank you for your 4 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site42. We appreciate your membership and your service. And before I even read your membership, just irony that Sheeny manages to throw cat ears on me while I'm addressing Researcher Cat. So, what timing comedically you have. Maybe that's why people are laughing, because of these very great quips and japes that you're doing from the chat. Good work. Meanwhile, finally back to watch the live again. Yay! Well, a hearty Kermit the Frog. Yay to you too, Cat. Welcome back. I hope you have found some great intel trolling the Parawatch wiki so that we can take care of any actual anomalies they may find. Researcher, all right, so intern Lepidoptera, good to see you again. First of all, loving the new hair. Well, thank you very much. I do think it sits rather cunning. I'm researching behaviors of anomalous entities and found that a lot of them are from the West to Midwest United States. Any thoughts? Well, it's hard to tell when it comes to United States of America where you're going to find concentrations of anomalies. Let's get map of the US. So of course, when you're looking at a map of the United States of America, please get me one that takes up the screen size. There we go. So, obviously, the first and most dire place that you're going to be finding a lot of anomalies is right here. Ohio, just a mess of anomalous things happening. We hate Ohio. Ohio is awful. Everyone hates having to deal with Ohio. Just too much going on there. Then, of course, you've got the traveling cryptids. You've got a Mothman next door. The Pacific Northwest does hold a lot of anomalies. That's why we have the boring agreement with Wilson's Wildlife Solutions to handle a lot of the anomalous animals and other kinds of critters that show up in this area. And then, of course, oh, Florida. Oh, we can't keep the Florida men in Florida, no matter how we try. And finally, a quick reminder, Massachusetts does not exist. No state here. Hashtag Massachusetts. There's no state of Massachusetts. No one lives in the state of Massachusetts. Does not exist. Don't get trapped in the place that doesn't exist. Thank you. But yes, those are some hot spots of the United States when it comes to anomalies, but there are plenty of others. Intern Narrator, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a... What do narrators like to eat? You can have a Black Forest cake on your way past the commissary. This is my son, Maneater. I'm working with it by. There's a lot of confusing things in that statement. I'm not exactly sure how to respond, but please keep all anomalies contained within the Foundation area. That way we do not alert civilians to anomalies. Yes, and thank you. Ravehaven, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a deviled crab on your way past the commissary. Director, why is there a heart shooting fire at me? A heart shooting fire? I am unfamiliar with a heart shooting fire. What is it with that you speak of? I'm going to need some more details. Ravehaven. What does that say? Dr. Sherman, I love alto clef, Sumerian, crow, Weddle, and I guess you. Do you know of anywhere I could find some form of merchandise that I can use to show my love for these characters? And you? Well, very kind of you, Desk. To remind everyone in stream that our stream is sponsored by the Reservoir Docs t-shirt. Brainstormed by myself. Art by Jade PNG, famed SCP Foundation community artist. On the scpstore.org, linked in our support link, you can get Doctors Clef, Crow, Sherman, Sumerian, Kandraki, and Weddle all on one television shirt. So yes, enjoy some Site42 merch and support the channel while doing it. Thank you, Desk, for your sponsorship bait post. Hold on a second. There we go. And there. Sheeny, thank you for donating again to say. Absolutely wild that we're both from some of the most anomalous states, really. Well, it takes a certain type, doesn't it, to survive in that setting, and to maybe get out and do something about it. So yes, DAP for the difficulties we've gone through. Real recognize real, I guess. You guess correct. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say. Please don't crash out in the next orientation, Dr. Sherman. I don't think the new interns can handle you shouting about the incompetence of certain teams. If they don't want me to crash out about their behavior and field actions, maybe they shouldn't suck eggs at their jobs. If their feelings are hurt, they can go to the commissary and get some hot cocoa before they get back to training. Ravehaven, thank you for donating again to say. Talking like an old British person, spider legs. I gotta be honest, I don't have a single clue what you're talking about. What? Ravehaven, what? Ravehaven used confusion. It was super effective. Xena Noodle, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Cat, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a pan au chocolat on your way past the commissary. I want to say thanks to Series 0. I just realized that the series button that I can search any series of Tales of the SCP. Oh, you learned that there are series in the Tales edition. That is good things. Let me, for just a moment, run over and show this goodness to the chat in general. Containment Hazard Assessment Team, if ever you were on the SCP database and you searched the SCP series listings, such as Series 1 or Series 8, and so on, you can click on the Tales edition to see all of the tales related to your favorite SCPs, Reservoir Skips. Oh, that was deleted. Oh, let's get out of there. So yes, you can see a whole bunch of SCPs and the tales that are relating to them. Very useful if you want more intel on your favorite articles. Gorpatra, thank you for donating again to say, any anomalies in Canada? Well, I am certain there are anomalies in Canada. Now, I don't believe the Canadians have their own branch, because I do believe they speak English as their majority language. But if I go to the SCP database search, and I tag filter SCP articles, and I search for Canada, then SCP-6341 is the Canadian Mail Void, area of Western Alberta, Canada. 354, the Red Pool, a very famous anomaly, is located in northern Canada. SCP-4666, the Yule Man, can often show up in rural parts of Canada due to its higher latitude. There are many, many, many anomalies in Canada. All you will have to do in the future is go to the search function of the SCP database, filter by the tag for SCPs, and then search for Canada. I found 460 pages on the database that mention Canada. So feel free to run the search yourself and have a happy adventure in the Great White North. Also, Desk would like me to inform you that sites 7, 37, 65, and 314 are located in Canada. That's quite helpful to know. You're quite welcome, intern Jason. Yes, this is information. This is how I search the database. So now you have that knowledge, so you can be more adept at searching the database, whether it's the series pages and their tail editions, or the on-site search function. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say, the heart has spider legs and talks like a Brit. The heart that was shooting fire at you. Now, the bovine heart SCP is a heart with spooky, spooky spider legs, but they didn't shoot fire or talk like a Brit. So, did you just find an evolved iteration of the bovine heart anomaly? Or is this something worse? Rave Haven. Either way, I'm worried because too close to a spider for me to appreciate it in the first place. I'm seeing some Ko-Fi notifications. Let me get those so I don't forget they exist. Shadow Spiriting, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Site 42 Ko-Fi. As we all know, the Ko-Fi only takes 3% of your donation due to general transaction fees, where YouTube takes a 30% cut of each donation. So by going to the Ko-Fi, you are making your money go further, and we greatly appreciate the effort. Grab yourself some clam chowder on your way past the commissary. I'm writing down my ideas for a potential SCP with similar themes to the movie Absolutely Anything. Hanging out with y'all helped me brainstorm some ideas, so I want to say thank you for the inspiration and good times. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. Yes, all the time we talk about different SCPs and concepts and prompts for SCPs, and it helps to get the creative juices flowing. So I'm glad you could have a nice stay with us, enjoy yourself, have a few yucks, and also brainstorm your SCP. That's awesome. We love to see more art being made. A really dumb person, thank you for donating again to say. It's still the narrator. Oh, I guess you must have a different account. Well, thank you for donating again. Yes, it is a baby. It is my son, DW. Don't worry, that's what that means. As long as it doesn't become an adult, it shouldn't eat anyone. If it cries for too long, it will become an adult almost instantly. Hope that doesn't happen. Also, it's from Lethal Company. I see. Okay, this is one of their anomalies. So, it eats people when it's an adult, and if it cries for too long, it becomes an adult. So then make sure it doesn't cry for too long. Good. Keep it up. Is there a gay SCP? Intern Boss. There are many SCPs that falls anywhere on the LGBTQIA spectrum. So, yes, the answer is yes. And ironically, the anomaly known as the gayest man alive is not actually homosexual. Fun fact. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say. Need some coffee, Dr. Sherman? I'm good at making coffee. Well, I mean, right now I'm hydration maxing, and I'm trying to use that to flush my system from the cortisol levels that was achieved over the last few days. So I've had my daily coffee. Now we're trying to detox. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say. Just checked the file. It's in the addendums. The bovine heart. I did not know the bovine heart could shoot fire. That's horrifying. O58, bovine heart. Rapid movement on both horizontal and vertical surfaces. It does speak in a human voice, though no method of producing sound has been observed. Vocal tone and accent of an elderly British male. Crazy. I forgot about that aspect of this anomaly. Majority of deaths are attributable to fire and fire-related injuries, resulting from a widespread of stinger fluid from O58 to a large structure. Yeesh. SCP-058 is so much worse than I remember it being. Has this been updated recently? Seemingly not. It's possible. Okay, the possibility is I forgot about the actual documentation in canon for SCP-058 because I was thinking about the 058s that are being utilized in SCP Fragmented Minds, which there are multiple of them, and they are more just head crab-like entities. So, okay, good to know. I'll have to look into that later to make sure that I need the most recent intel on that anomaly. Vera Lovelace, thank you for donating again to say. SCP author, thanks for showing the Tales Edition section. Didn't know that was a thing. I'm going to add target audience to SCP-1471 after stream. Oh, happy to help. Yes, even SCP authors, it's just a large website with a lot of facets. Learning to navigate the wiki is part of the challenge of getting into the community, so I'm happy to have helped a little bit of education on that side. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say. Yeah, the fire being barely mentioned has led to so many deaths due to people underestimating it. It's also fast as hell. Signed, Dr. Haven. Well, yes, I do understand the speed. The speed is a big problem. Of course, for me, the biggest problem is the skittering little spider legs thing. Hate those fuckers. Are there any pickle SCPs? I don't know. Pickle SCPs, you say? Well, if I go to the search function and I search for SCPs, then I type the name pickle. SCP-807, codename Heart Attack on a Plate, is a dinner plate that makes any food put upon it extremely high fat, sodium, and cholesterol. That way, it becomes nearly irresistible, and it will give you a heart attack immediately upon eating it. Although emergency bypass surgery possibly could save your life if we were prepared for it. And one of those was had pickles on it. Ooh! And it involves my favorite kind of burger, other than a barbecue bacon cheeseburger. Classic. A Luther burger. For those of you unfamiliar, a Luther burger is a bacon cheeseburger, but instead of on a bun, you cut a donut in half, crisp the innards of the donut on the grill, and use those as the bun. Delightful. You could go hardcore and use 2 donuts as the bun, but I'm not that hardcore. I like a single donut split in half. And then when we put a Luther burger on that plate, so it was already super fatty and cholesterol-y, further testing of high-fat foods with SCP-807 has been suspended due to the high number of casualties. I wonder how that burger killed so many people. Do you mean just a plain donut or a glazed donut? Oh, Lucas the intern, glazed donut. Glazed donut is the way. I've never had one with a cake donut, but I feel that would be underwhelming. I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me get that before I forget. Stanley Parable narrator, thank you for donating again to say, please, my son, be quiet, my son. Shh. Just calm down. Go back to sleep. Good. Can I have a bit to just babysit this guy for a bit? Well, seeing that we know it will turn into a man-eating creature if you don't, I suggest yes, please do that. I mean, between the man-eating child-adult thing now and the butt monster from yesterday, I'm just having a lot of trouble with monstrous anomalies harming people right now. Sheeny, very good reference catching. Brava. Agent Shadow Wolf, thank you for sending chili to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it spicy at your urging. 100 stars, thank you for sending sparkles. I am sure the chat will feel fabuloso. I wonder if the Foundation realizes I'm anomalous. Well, when you say it in a Containment Hazard Assessment team full of Foundation agents, yes. We do. Obviously. Aoki and Agent Shadow Wolf, thank you both for sending happy poops to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I don't exactly understand the appeal, but I'm sure they will enjoy them regardless. I'm getting my SCP black card soon, and do you know what it means? Intern V's, I do not know what that means, no. What is an SCP black card? We don't give out credit cards of the black variety or any other. Our Foundation allotment of credits is typically on a simple debit card that we use at the commissary and all. Adopt the chat room. Intern boss, I already have enough Site 42 researchers calling me a father figure or daddy or zaddy. I do not need to give them more ammunition to do such things. So I humbly refuse. Intern Soggy, you should not add 012 or 018 to your game. 012 is highly overplayed, and 018 is just a bouncing ball. What, you're going to model a sphere? That's too easy. You know what you're going to add to your game? You know what you're going to add because I said so right now? You are going to add a delightful little guy called SCP-5430. You are going to add a snake with 48 sneakers. SCP-5430, a snake wearing 48 sneakers. I want to see that sweet reptile boy waddling through your site, and if you turn on the radio, the snake wearing 48 sneakers will do a little dance for you. That's what you're doing. SCP-5430, a snake wearing 48 sneakers. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say, what if I drew Punk Sherm, where would I share it? Well, if you drew art of myself, then you could submit it to the Fan Art Friday email address, which Desk will put in the chat at this time. Or, if you are in the Site 42 Discord server, you could share it in the Fan Art channel. What SCP with no tails do you think deserves to have a tail? A very interesting question. 369 Destroyer, let me think of that for just a moment while I say, SCP Archivy. Hello, Dr. Sherman. I own a small channel based around SCPs. I want to ask you if I could do my own spin on your X is not an SCP series. I would include you as the original creator, of course. Certainly, yes, please, go right ahead. I would love it to see more of that spitballing out in public. So, yes, make those videos, and if you want to shout me out, that is also appreciated. Make it happen. Do good work. I look forward to seeing your research. Desk, very wise. You have made a Tumblr link to the Fan Art Friday rules for those who do not have a Twitter. A wise move indeed. Also, A reminder to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Desk and Agent Goose both are the blue names of our chat. They are moderators. You should watch when a blue name speaks because maybe they're saying something funny. They are quite humorous. Furthermore, they might be answering a question for you that you're asking, but I'm too busy to answer. If it's a simple enough question, they might answer it on my behalf. Or last but not least, you might be breaking a rule and in risk of being banned if you do not answer and apologize for your actions and correct your behavior. So do not ignore the blue names in the chat. Your very chat membership can depend on it. Present Mike. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and hey, it's been a while, buddy. Hope you've been doing well. Surprise boop attack. Peculiar booping. Interesting. Happy Easter, SCPs and docs. Well, happy delayed Easter to you as well, Present Mike. Can we get a time check? Well, Site 42 staff, we are currently at the 81-minute mark of what I said was going to be a 60-minute stream, but you guys have kept me entertained with the questions enough to have a little more zest and zeal to keep this stream going a bit longer. But I do imagine that in about 8 minutes we will be ending stream because I do feel a little bit of the fade coming on. Hey, Dr. Sherman, how would I go designing an architecture of an SCP-like site? When you say site, intern Walker, are you talking about a website such as the SCP Wiki? Or are you talking about a site as in a SCP Foundation containment site for multiple anomalies? You need to be very specific there, because that's two very different answers. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say. Reminder to all staff, anyone claiming to have seen Director Sherman pen drop are to be sent to medical for examinations. Well, yes, clearly. I've never dropped my pen on stream. That would be ridiculous. I'm far too talented at spinning it, so anytime you may have thought that I dropped my pen, obviously there's clearly something wrong with your head. So yes, a trip to medical would be in order. Are you okay? You look red. Lol. Printing boss, that is just my complexion. I have that translucent Irish-Italian skin, especially the Irish, so I go red as a beet if I get excited in any way. I turn as red as the Critical Tomatoes SCP-507 or 504 are the Critical Tomatoes. I think they're 507s. Nope, they're 504s. 507 is the Reluctant Dimension Hopper. So yes, that is just my face. I want to design a physical site for a video game I'm making. It's built very similar to an SCP site. It'll be called Isocorp, Dr. Sherman. Well, I would start taking inspiration from the different sites built in different games then, especially if you're not doing a specifically SCP Foundation site. So I would play games such as SCP Containment Breach or Secret Lab. I would play Control, possibly... What's that one with the meat entity? It's a side-scroller. And the meat entity is trapped by a Foundation XP that continually gets got. Suffice it to say, play a bunch of games with secret facilities and use that as your inspiration. Intern DJ. I find this mildly uncomfortable due to the likeness. Mildly uncomfortable due to the likeness. I also do not like that they are living candies. That makes me very worried for the amount of SCP Foundation staff members who would want to eat the living candies, because they have no self-control. If you're interested in the SCP-5741, that's the document you can go look at. On April 4th, 2021, a 911 call was received from a resident in Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, it's in fucking Ohio. We just talked about this. The residents reported that the Peeps candies they had just given their children appeared to have human viscera inside them, and that their daughter had partially consumed one of the candies. Gross. Desk, yes, the game I was thinking about was called Carrion. How cogent of a combination subject with the Peeps with human viscera inside them. Agent Shadow Wolf, thank you for sending a silver star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that the second place award will be quite motivating for them to strive for the gold star. Closing some tabs here. According to your mirror counterpart, the bunny and chick Peeps are at war. That's horrifying. So we could use SCP-5741 to fight off that thing. Oh. I don't know if anything has the power to take on that abomination. I contacted Site-95 so they can start training them. Well, we'll certainly see what Site-95 can do. Are you immortal, Dr. Sherman? No, Captain Gilbert, I am, in fact, a normal human being who is completely non-anomalous, except for when I am anomalous because my author can't come up with a story and keep it straight. Therefore, I am what's called a quantum superposition of anomalous. But as far as I can tell, I am not immortal. Nor anomalous, except for when I am, except I'm not. It's very confusing. There is no canon. Yes, 369 Destroyer. You want to know if there was an SCP that I wish had a tail but didn't. So if I go to the database and I consider my favorite SCPs, let's see. So I'm going to say for both, I'm giving you two. I want tails of SCP-008-J and SCP-Spooky-J. Now, since the J's do not have a Tails edition, I do not know if there are any Jeff or Spooky-J anomalies on the database. But I want them. I want them. Also, you can write some tales about my SCPs if you want. I want all my SCPs to have tails. Why don't my SCPs have tails? Where's my George the Chinchilla tails? Jim Biggio, you're already working on a tail, so that's a good one. Yes. Agent Shadow Wolf, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm certain they will keep it 100 at your urging. How do we know you're not an SCP? Well, intern boss, if you look at the SCP database, you have to answer 3 questions. Number 1, am I anomalous? Well, we can't really answer that, so skip on to question 2. Am I on the SCP database? Yes, several times. But most crucially, do I have an SCP article about me? No. Which means even if I were to be anomalous, which we can't really determine, we do know that I'm not an SCP because I don't have an SCP document written about me. Game, set, and match. And Site-42 staff, that brings us to the end of today's stream. And as I have done traditionally around these parts, I will tell you my favorite SCPs, but I won't tell you. Yes, I tell you my favorite SCPs at tradition on these parts, but I'm not going to say that my SCPs that I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be gaudy, would be narcissistic. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site-42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you are on my author page, you have the options to go 1 tab over and find a list of links. Links that a lot of people ask about in the chat. Maybe they want hints on where to find the links, but then they just aren't clever enough to find those links. It's so sad for them. But not for you, Containment Hazard Assessment team, because you're smart enough to find those links. When you do, you'll have the option to become a Site-42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You'll be able to do Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chat donations to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we appreciate your generosity in helping the Site-42 project with direct donations. It's the quickest way to do so, and it helps me and the Site-42 staff to keep the lights on and keep supporting the SCP Wiki in our own way. So we thank you for your generosity in helping us out. And if you can't donate because you're part of the Broke Gang, do not fret. We also need our engagement team, Mobile Task Force Site-42, codenamed Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just for us, but for the SCP projects we support, the SCP authors and artists on the wiki themselves, the SCP animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters. You are helping us to support these projects so they get more engagement, which means more money from ad revenue or people who can donate to them because you help them get found. And that means they stick with the SCP community because they can afford to work for them. We don't have them running off because they can't copyright it and lock it down. They'll be able to support themselves in a Creative Commons fashion. Arts, communism, baby. That's what we're in this for. And I thank you for helping us in our mission to help people make that happen. So, without further ado, in no particular order, my favorite SCPs are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, and then the content warning on the last one's a rough read. Whew! Just checking one thing real quick. I have a curiosity. But while I'm doing so, Site-42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Teddy Boys, you said a link expired. I have a familiarity that suggests you might be using a browser that doesn't support said link. That happens a lot. In fact, it happened recently with a certain team I worked with. I thought the link was broken, but then I used it in another browser and it functioned. So try that with whatever links you might be finding expired. Also, V-Dubs, thank you for your first donation right at the last minute. Grab yourself some deviled eggs on your way past the commissary. Another item yoinked. Put the anomalies in their assigned containment cells, or so help me. So Site 42 staff, another coffee break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary about the anomalous broadcast of Site 42, has come and gone. Hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. You keep saying you got something for me. Something you call love, but confess. You've been messing where you shouldn't have been a messing. And now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Intern Leo, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing at the very, very, very last second. Orange Cloud, thank you for your first donation of today's stream and being a member at the very, very last second. Grab yourself a slice of carrot cake on your way past the commissary. Hey, boss, sorry I've been lacking in a bit in my work, but the strangest thing, my head was hurting for a bit and I can't remember anything for the first. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have missed my briefing from April 1st. There must have been some sort of signal snafu, but we repeated the briefing on the 2nd, so you can catch up on the 2nd just fine. Either way, Shirai, thank you for donating again at the very, very, very last second. For the first time, as well as being a member, grab yourself a cup of calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. SCP-5165-3, Amor Loran to Site 42. The old gods here couldn't stop defenses failed. Farewell. That sounds bad. Well, I guess we'll keep an eye on that, so it doesn't happen to us. Godspeed, you shining star that is blacked out. So everyone in chat, stay safer than original Shirai. As always, secure, contain, protect.